Today I've got some breaking news that will raise some eyebrows. It's something that I've been warning about for literally years, and it is officially here today. The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, just announced the launch of an international central bank digital currency, a CBDC, called Universal Monetary Unit, UMU. Now I know that's a lot of alphabet soup, but please stick with me. This is huge. This is the biggest thing to come in all of the central bank digital currencies. Now, this might sound like a step forward in the world of finance. You're hearing about central bank digital currencies and how fantastic they are, right? But there are some serious concerns about the potential loss of sovereignty and privacy that come with it. During the recent IMF Spring Meetings, the Digital Currency Monetary Authority, DCMA, unveiled this new digital currency. And I'm going to bring you the details of it. This is something I have been talking about for years, saying you have to watch what happens with the IMF. The IMF already has something called SDR. It's a special drawing right. It's their own currency in a sense. And now we've gone to the next level. What I have said has been basically that the IMF will stand at the center and they will be able to conduct whatever it is they please with a currency that you may not use directly, but that your countries are essentially beholden to. The currencies that we have are really there to transact with this new currency, with this supranational entity that sits above, unelected, of our governments. Does that sound like a good thing to you? Well, that's literally happening right now. You are getting the brand new information that has come out. In the previous video, I just talked about the BIS doing their own thing, the Bank for International Settlements. They are often referred to as the central bank of central banks. And now we have the IMF. It seems like everybody, every country, supranational entities, they are all going towards creating some form of digital currency. In this case here, they're talking about a CBDC. Now, these aren't fantastic. These aren't good in any way. Except, well, as I'll talk about here, they are trying to improve upon the current system. What are the problems of the current system? Well, if you transact internationally, you know the deal. It's way too expensive and it takes way too long. These things are an absolute fact. I have to wait until the next business day. So when I'm sending money overseas right now, I have to wait several days. If it's a Friday afternoon, let's say, I'm not going to send it. I got to wait until Monday to then send that money. So what happens? I'm twiddling my thumbs for the next few days. At the same time, I'm paying a lot of money. A lot of money when you think about it, because those transactions start to add up. It should cost next to nothing to send money overseas. Why? Just like I can send you a text message and an email for essentially free, that same thing should happen within the financial system. That's what central bank digital currencies supposedly are here to help us with. Now, if that was it, that would be fantastic. But there's something else going on. It's very important. There's been a lot of detail about the FedNow system. I did a video about that. It gets a lot of clicks for those out there, but it's not a central bank digital currency, and it doesn't pave the way for a central bank digital currency. That's something else entirely. Okay, very different. You can type in FedNow, the money GPS, and you'll get my video upon that. But I want to know what you think about the IMF and their central bank digital currency creation. Let's get into it, because this is huge. This is so important. And if you stick with me here, I'm going to explain why this affects you. Okay. Now, they claim that it is designed to strengthen the monetary sovereignty of participating central banks and comply with the IMF's policy recommendations. This is what they say. Okay. The UMU, symbolized by the U with the two dots on top, will function like a CBDC to enforce banking regulations and protect the international banking system. Banks can attach SWIFT codes and bank accounts to a UMU digital wallet, enabling cross-border payments that bypass the correspondent banking system. This could lead to instantaneous real-time settlements and wholesale FX rates, foreign exchange rates. So you see what's happening here. Your bank that you got your SWIFT code bank account number, that's going to now be attached to something that goes beyond your country, beyond the bank that you bank with, into a supranational entity. Are you going to be able to vote on this? Are you going to be able to opt out of this? I don't think so. Do you see the concern here? I've literally been warning about this for years and years, telling you this exact thing. And if you have heard me say this, if you read my second book, please let me know in the comments below. This is very important. You must share this with somebody that you know. It is crucial. While this new system might be efficient, it raises some serious concerns about the loss of control and privacy for individual countries and individuals as well, right? The UMU will be configurable to each participating jurisdiction's central banking regulations, but the potential for global localization of public monetary systems might make people uneasy, right? So essentially here, you're saying that, oh, you can program it, you can make it, fit in with what you've got. But the control is now given to an international authority. Now, while the US might control the IMF for the most part, it's still well beyond your control. There's not even like that little bit of face-to-face with the Federal Reserve that you get today. It goes beyond that, well beyond that. And that's what's occurring here today. The only thing that's needed is a crisis to implement it full scale. We'll see. It's worth noting that the IMF hasn't officially endorsed the UMU, but they also haven't raised any objections to its monetary sovereignty approach or its FX premium rates. Daryl Hubbard, the executive director of the DCMA, claims that the UMU isn't attempting to disrupt international monetary system, but rather, strengthen it. That's what they always say. And while there might be some individuals with good intentions and they see how people are really interested in Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, all these things, they are kind of taking it out of context because people who like Bitcoin, for instance, they don't like the central governments and international authorities. It's like the total opposite. But they use it and they've hijacked that. Now people are becoming more comfortable with it, so they're going to opt in. Now, I have always said that I believe the universal basic income will be somehow attached to this. That's what I believe. I think they'll do this, and it seems very likely more and more. We have to ask ourselves, at what cost are we willing to sacrifice our sovereignty and privacy for claimed efficiency and stability? UMU is being hailed as, this is the quote, crypto 2.0, and is designed to support central banking and regulated financial institutions. But we must remain cautious and vigilant. As always, let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. What do you think about this new digital currency? And are the potential benefits really worth the risks? Don't forget to share this with someone you know, or it will be lost, much like the value of your currency. That's really what this is all about. Because your currency today is something that every single day goes down and down and down. And we are watching as that value declines, the uprising, the civil unrest is getting worse and worse and worse. Society is degenerating. And we watch this at a time when we are losing control. We have less power, less control over all of the systems currently in place. The government doesn't want things to be a-okay. We know that to be the case. There are riots going on everywhere. They don't control it. They don't stop and think to themselves, maybe we should help the people. No, it's all about trying to make sure that people stay subdued, they stay single file, and they remain just at around that line of poverty so that they can be controlled. The next level is a universal basic income that will be most likely somehow involved with a central bank digital currency. So no, you're not going to go to Bank of America maybe to get your UBI. Maybe it's going to be delivered to you by either the Federal Reserve and their currency that they develop, or maybe that's going to be from a supranational entity. Maybe. We don't know. At this time, we don't know. The assumptions that I made, the predictions that I made about the IMF creating their own and this, and it happened, was based on all the facts I had at that time. Now, central bank digital currencies weren't necessarily talked about many, many years ago, but I understood the scheme. I understood this because I've read and I've spent since probably 2005, 2007 timeframe reading and learning about this each and every day. I am obsessed with the information, and that's the only reason why I continue, so I could bring that to you. If you want to know more, you hit subscribe and you'll know the truth. Take care.